Norte. Sur. Este. Oeste.
Dear foreign audience, I would like to ask you some basic questions which are at the core of American identity. I've been asked myself each of these questions at least 100 times. No big deal. May I?
How many of you consider yourself pure-blooded white?
One.
What about people of color?
Seven.
Are there any illegal aliens in the audience?
Only one? Two.
What about people who once were illegal?
Eight.
What about people who married an illegal alien? I mean, to help them get their green card?
That's transnational solidarity.
Any people who have hired undocumented migrants for domestic or artistic purposes?
One, two, three, 17? To do what exactly?
Gardening.
How much did you pay them?
$50 once a week to mow the lawn. Oh, and cut the
Well, thanks for your sincerity, eh? So now let's get a little bit more personal.
People who have had sex with an illegal alien within the last month?
So how was it? Yeah. Who else? Only 3 people?
What about sex with an alien? I mean, abduction.
Okay, on a different subject matter.
Have any of you ever fantasized about being from another race or culture?
Which one? Come on. Black? Who said yes? Indian? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which other one? Come on, I need one more answer. Which one? Pacific Islander? Thanks for your sincerity. Performance intervention number 2033, format, unusual keynote presentation. Criminal identity profile, highly classified. Complete name, Guillermo Gómez Peña. English translation, Guillermo, Guillermo, Gómez Penis, or Peña. Nationality since 1999, dual, Mexican and USCN. Self-identity, Mexican in permanent process of Chicanoization. Race, transgenic mestizo. Languages spoken fluently, Spanish, English, Spanglish, Gringoñol, Franglais, Robo, Esperanto, and fake Nahuatl. Distinguishing features, performance scars on both arms, stomach and right knee, Pinto tattoos on chest, right arm and left shoulder, Chicano astigmatas on his back, hyper Mexican mustache, loungy sideburns, melancholic gaze. Occupations in order of importance, performance artist, writer, videoasta, journalist, activist, borderologo, reverse anthropologist, experimental linguist, media pirate, bad actor, Latino consumer, service representative of the U.S. art world, and understudy for Mr. Antonio Banderas. Main performance aliases in chronological order: Mr. Misterio, el existentialist mojado, border brujo, el warrior for gringo stoica, el untranslatable vato, el mariachi liberachi, el aztec high-tech, el nafta azteca, el Mad Mex, el Mexterminator, information superhighway bandito, el web back, and today he is appearing as el traveling medicine vato. Weapons used to fight back: language, spoken and written, live performance, radio, the internet, theatricalized madness, humor, strategic silence, and the Mexican survival kit. Contents: fake press cards, assorted chiles, hangover relief medicine, makeup, shamanic artifacts of sorts, and a hat, an Stetson hat to look friendly. Archivo digital post 9/11. America's most wanted inner demon. Hello, my dear audience. Je suis el archetypal greaser, born and raised south of the media border, where the continents of fear and ignorance overlap. Soy yo, el mero, great-great-grandson of Cortés y la Malinche, l'enfant de la chingada dada. I am, the bastard son of Lone Ranger and Tonto, el hijo apócrifo de Frida Kahlo y Freddy Krueger, the Mexican brother Banderas badly wanted to have. A true Hollywood refusenick. Soy yo, Joaquín, pero el otro. El que se perdió when crossing the border, lost and found in the translation, misinterpreted by both sides. Un, dos, the nasty one. Un, dos, the rebel one. El indomable e intraducible, undocumented document. Shit, I'm a terrible cumbia singer. I'll try another persona. Mahela, Hikea Mama Mahala in the Huma, Hikiuma, Hakea Mama Hakena, Heda, Hinyakahala Mama Hakena. Soy el Mad Mix, Chero, Psycho Killer, Prototype 187, GQ, conceived at MGM, with body parts assembled in TJ, Taiwan, cause all Mexican artists were made in Taiwan. Our body parts assembled by German curators to perform extreme art functions at expos, festivals, and TV ads. Primary functions: 100+ identity morphing capabilities, including el S&M zapatista, el galant mariachi rocker, el X-rated narco brujo, el transgender dandy servidor que cruza y penetra vuestras inmensas nalgas transnacionales. Delete. Open accessories file. Chipotle skirting techno jalapeño phallus to blind the migra when crossing over. Shift. Software located in my shift. My intelligent tongue mastica computer nacho chips embedded in my shift. My poisonous lips mastican your delicious white flesh. Viva Gringuita, cries el Chihuahua Chucky. My favorite Mexicannibal colega right before devouring your hardware. Perdón. Estimado público aterrado, due to profound cultural misunderstanding America's favorite sport, today I am the most suspicious other around. The other on the other side of the mirror. Dash TV set, your evil twin, the brown one, perdido entre las torres gemelas. I am the boogeyman of ABC, the INS, the NSA, and the Homeland Security Gestapo. Motto: security for you, inseguridad para el resto del planeta. Neta, I am que soy whomever you want me to be. Dark, unscrupulous, and genetically anti-American. I am que fui el capo de capos, Brown Vader Escobar, morphing into the Lord of Heavens. Mato, luego existo, cruzo, luego soy, and by strategic association, or rather perceptual incompetence, at different times, I could be the Mula One. Body snatcher extraordinaire, Osama morphing into Saddam, Hussein, Gaddafi, or Arafat, el Ayatollah, whatever. I am, I can be, I could be America's most wanted inner demon. The T word, T, la T del terror, embodied by a big, brown, muscular vato loco. Because you know, Latins and Arabs are as hard to distinguish from one another as a Hutu from a Tutsi. Or an Irish from a Scot in the eyes of a Bengali holy man. because at this point in time, outside of Bush's inner circle, we're all Arabs, or rather, all Arabs are Latin. Oh, Sami, bien Latin, sultán de los talibatos. And please, s'il vous plaît, do not confuse them with the Talibiners, those phonies sponsored by the Gap. Because tonight my mind is out of control, and you, my dear audience, you're caught in the crossfire. Thank you. Performance memory, Tijuana, 1994. I sit on a wheelchair, naked, wearing my NAFTA wrestling mask. My chest is covered with pintas, shit like. Los chucos también aman, me dicen el jalapeño pusher, Aztlán es pure genitalia, the bells are ringing in Baghdad, greetings from Ocosingo, too blessed to be stressed, don't worry, be happy. Burritos unidos hasta la muerte, no one can like a Mexican, no one knows like those Chicanos. La ganga no morirá, New Orleans ain't my barrio, Selena, forever reina, to die is to perform the very last striptease, no one be too clever. Enigmatic pintas, may I say, I can barely speak today. Dear audience, ease my pain, lick my chest, my sweat, my blood, 500 years of bleeding from head to toes, and all the way down to the root, I bleed. From Alaska to Patagonia, y me pesa un chingo decirlo, pero sangro. De inflación, dolor y dólar, sangro. De inflamación existencial y mexicanidad insatisfecha, sangro. De tanto vivir en los United, sangro. De tanto luchar contra la migra, sangro. De tanto y tanto crossing border, sangro. Luego existo, parto, luego soy porque somos, we are un fucking chingo de Transient Generation acá. From Los Angeles to the Bronx and far beyond, including Canada for protocol reasons, we, the mega we cry. Therefore, the moon, demanding restoration. Thank you. La política del lenguaje. Estimados colegas, I am obsessed with attempting to establish some basic connections between body, word, and destiny, between the politics of language and the physiology of politics. Verbigracia. Casa, my head. Cuello, going north. Lengua, looking for your lips. Pecho, I wish I had humongous freckled breasts. Panza, my wisdom shows. Ñonga, the untranslatable place. Chocho, coño, volcano, where all vatos come from, way before the Bering Strait, way before Europeans first set foot on this continent. Ingle, nos robaron la lengua. Piernas, 2. The journey north continues. Pies migrating in reverse. Espalda, wetback. Back to the origins. Memoria. Ombligo, video. Ombligo, ay que muera. Coño, Gómez Peña, my writing is getting real obscure. I wonder if it's the medicine or premature dementia. Archivo digital número 2. El gringo practices his Spanish on his Latino friends que lo escuchan con una paciencia de siglos. I love Galapagos, he says. I mean, Galapanos, digo, Galapenis, jalapenis, jalapedos, jalapeños, perdón, yo soy aprendiendo un poquito de español, Castilian, I mean, pero yo soy solo un perro. Yo soy solo un gringo, loco de amor por una chicana caliente de Mission Street, me mira como florecida de cinco tamalo, digo chingo de malo, I mean 5 de mayo. Tranquilo, güey, tranquilo. Translation, please. Welcome to the colonized territory of your psyche. Spanglish, poltergeist. ¿Y qué? Wow. You know, I truly believe that Americans know more Spanish than they're willing to accept. And I would like to prove it right now with a poem. Dear perplexed students, repeat with me out loud. México es California. Marruecos es Madrid. Pakistán es Londres. Argelia es París. Camboya es San Francisco. Turquía es Frankfurt. Puerto Rico es Nueva York. Centroamérica es Los Ángeles. Honduras es Nueva Orleans. Argentina es París. Beijing es San Francisco. Haití es Nueva York. Nicaragua es Miami. Quebec es Euskadi. Chiapas es Irlanda. Ramallah is East LA. I didn't say it, you did. Your house is also mine. Your language, mine as well. And your heart will be ours one of these nights. Thank you. Let's engage in an exercise of political imagination. I want you to imagine for a second a French anthropologist from La Sorbonne attempting to explain the racial eccentricity of America to his colleagues back home. This new society is characterized by mass migrations and bizarre interracial relations. As a result, new hybrid identities are emerging. All Mexican citizens have turned into Chicanos or Mexquimos. and all Canadians have become Chicanadians. Everyone is now a border region, meaning a native of the great border region. According to Transnational Geographic magazine, 70% of the population in the New World border is undocumented, and up to 90% can be technically considered mestizo mulata. That is the product of at least 4 racial mixtures. Such is the case of the crazy Chicaricuas, who are the product of Puerto Rican mulatto and Chicano mestizo parents. And also the innumerable German-Manchurians who descend from the union of West German and Manchurian Chinese. When a Chicaricua marries a Hasidic Jew, their child is called Hasidic Vato Loco. When a displaced Belgian marries a Chicano, the offspring is called Belga Chica, which loosely translates as Little Winnie. Among the other significantly half-breed groups are the Anglo-Malayans, the Afro-Croatians, and the Japtalians, many of whom I see here today. It's lovely, lovely, and very, very post-Columbian, Colombian, may I say melting pot. We've replaced the bankrupt notion of the melting pot with a model that is more germane to the times, that of the menudo chowder. According to this model, most of the ingredients do melt, but some stubborn chunks are condemned merely to float. My editors, in all things considered, wanted me to write a eulogy to H.G. Wells on his anniversary, so I decided to revamp an old performance text, an idea that was on the air in the early to mid-90s. What if H.G. Wells had been Chicano? Imagine one of the possible immediate futures in a typical U.S. city, that is to say a city full of immigrants, people of color, and people who speak other languages like Spanish. You perceive yourself as an angry white male, but no one knows about it, not even your beautiful Hispanic wife or your gorgeous interracial kids. You close your eyes and begin to imagine. Memory file. You wake up one day and go to work. You need to stop for gas, but the gas station is closed. You don't know that all the attendants went back to the old country the day before. You drive around looking for an open gas station until you run out of gas. You call a cab, but there are no cabs because the drivers, mainly Latino, quit the day before. Somehow you make it to the office to find your colleagues watching TV in total disbelief. An Airbus president is pleading for all unemployed Anglos and African Americans to show up immediately to the closest emergency labor recruitment center. The country is paralyzed. Total brownout. The disappeared Latino labor force must be replaced overnight. At lunchtime, you discover that most restaurants are closed. Duh. Someone explains to you that the chefs and the waiters were all part of an epic self-deportation program. Since you're fairly apolitical, you still don't quite get it. Many stores and hotels are closed for obvious reasons, and the banks are going crazy all across the country. Millions of Mexicans with their suitcases in hand are lining up at bank counters to withdraw their accounts on their way back to their homelands. You begin to worry about your family. You decide to go home, walking, of course, because remember, your car is parked somewhere on the other side of town without gas. Your Hispanic wife is devastated. Most of her relatives chose to go back to the old country. She's also furious because Juan the gardener and Maria the babysitter are nowhere to be found. She explains she had to stay home to take care of the kids and missed all her work appointments. She even had to take the kids to do the shopping, which Maria normally does. They stood in an eternal line at the supermarket only to find that there was no fresh produce, because according to the supermarket manager, there were no Mexican truckers to deliver it. Now your kids are crying because they miss Maria. You go to bed in total perplexity and you dream in Spanish, or better said, you have a nightmare in Spanish. You see yourself picking fruit under a criminal sun for 10 hours a day. Your hands covered with a monstrous skin disease produced by pesticides. You wake up sweating. Next morning, you turn on the TV. A panicked president delivers the bad news. Very few people responded to his desperate call for workers. The unemployed citizens were clearly not inspired by the idea of working for minimum wage and no benefits. The nation's tourist, construction, garment, and food industries are all in disarray. San Diego, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, San Jose, Fresno, San Francisco, Phoenix, Tucson, Santa Fe, Albuquerque, Denver, San Antonio, Houston, Chicago, and a myriad other smaller cities have declared bankruptcy. And so have many national banks. And if these weren't enough, the president concludes, within days, crops across the country will begin to rot because there is simply no one to pick them. Luckily, Mexico has offered to send some emergency food supplies. Some humanitarian aid, and maybe even some Mexicans. In very broken Spanglish, or rather gringoñol, a desperate president proceeds to beg the remaining Mexicans to stay. Queridos amigos, queremos que ustedes recapaciten y no abandonen sus trabajos más. Les subiremos el salary y les daremos muchos benefits y su tarjeta verde instantánea. Por favor. Now you take a deep breath and you slowly come back to the present. Nativists, politicos, and citizen groups across the country are doing everything they can to stop illegal immigration and to take away the few rights left for immigrants, including access to education, medical services. They conveniently make no distinction between illegal and legal. They blame all immigrants for crime, drugs, and especially the lack of jobs. Their inflammatory rhetoric appeals to your fear of an uncertain future, but not to your intelligence. You feel manipulated and angry. If you could ask one question to the political class, what would that question be? Are you truly aware of the logical consequence of your anti-immigrant politics? Now, you cool down. It's been a hard day, you know? You sip your delicious coffee from Chiapas, and you put on your Buena Vista Social Club CD. Okay. The following Spanish lesson is directed to all the American people who are still having problems communicating with monolingual U.S. Latinos. María, ¿tienes tus papeles en orden? Mary, are you fully documented? ¿Puedo verlos ahora mismo, por favor? Can you show me now proof of residency or citizenship? Tú tienes muchos hijos. Do you have many children? ¿Tienes donde dejarlos mientras trabajas? Do you have a place to leave them when you come to work? Tú estás muy flaca. ¿Estás a dieta? You are so skinny. Are you on a diet? La comida del refrigerador no es para tuya. The food in the fridge is not for you. With men, one has to be a bit tougher. Pancho, riega el jardín. Frank, water the garden. No seas tan flojo, amigo. Don't be so lazy, my friend. Tienes aliento alcohólico. You stink of alcohol. No me veas así tan directo. Don't you look at me so directly. Yo voy a hablarle a la policía si no cambias. If you don't behave, I'm going to have to call the police. Now, if Pancho has finished his job and you are feeling restless or adventurous, you may tell him, Amorcito, ven a mi cuarto y enséñame tus misterios. Untranslatable. If you repeat these phrases as often as possible to yourself and any quote-unquote Latino you encounter, you won't have communication problems anymore. For information on other Spanish lessons about food, politics, identity, and sex, please call LACMA. Thank you. Border lobe, linguistic misunderstanding. Kiss me machuca, como si fuera esta noche the last negro raid. Kiss me, Pachuca, que tengo miedo perderte somewhere in LA. If only I had known the true motivations of my past lovers when falling in love with El Charro Romántico or El Mariachi Liberace instead of my self-number 2, El Border Hamlet. ¿Me ama? No me ama. ¿Me caso? No me caso. ¿Me canso? No me canso. ¿Chicano? Mexicano. ¿Qué soy o me imagino? ¿Regreso? Continúo. ¿Me mato? No me mato. ¿En México? En Califas. ¿To write or to perform? ¿En inglés or in Spanish? I hate you. No. I forgive you. No. I crave for you, Locota. Where are you? Are you still blonde? If only I had a decent command of English when I got involved with my past lovers. If only I had known the difference between jerk around and jerk off. Between napkin and kidnap. Between prospect and suspect. Between embarazada and embarrassed. If only I had known the difference between desire and redemption, between political correctness and personal computers, between us and US, between humanity and mankind. We've only got one word for both in Spanish, humanidad. Perdóname por ser tan rollero. If only I had known the difference between loneliness and solitude, we've only got one word in Espanol, soledad. Forgive me for being so paradoxical. Soledad on the stage, my flaming queen. Forgive me, Chuca, for spilling the beans of my very spicy beanhood. Wow, that's a pretty good line. She sings like Octavio Paz wrote, the theater critic of the Boston Globe, but behaves like Geraldo Rivera on acid. But if only I had known the gringo implications of mi casa es su casa, meaning y tu país también. Or hasta la vista, babe, meaning die fucking mesquin, or vaya con Dios, vatos locos, meaning deported back to the origins. The South is always the origin, and crossing the border is the original sin. Placazo, un emigrante más equals un mexicano menos. Delete. Thank you. You know, the very same politicians who forced us into globalization and free trade across borders paradoxically don't want us to be bilingual or multilingual. I wonder if one can be a monolingual member of a multilingual community. Solo Bush lo entiende. In this Spanish lesson, you will learn how to communicate efficiently with obnoxious Mexicans while traveling down there. When standing at a bank teller, Señor, por favor no se me acerque demasiado, me pone nerviosa. Sir, would you please step back? You are making me nervous. After renting a summer house, you discover that the maid has 7 rowdy kids. Petra, ¿puede pedirle a sus niños que se callen? Están molestando a mi perro. Petra, can you keep your children quiet? They are bothering my chihuahua. When talking to a dumb waiter at a restaurant, ¿qué no hay otro mesero que hable bien inglés, carajo? Is there another waiter who can actually speak English, stupid Mexican? When a policeman stops you for drunk driving down there, you may say, Oficial, estamos bien pedos. ¿Cuánto de mordida? Officer, we're shit-faced. How much is the bribe? Fine? Watch out, women traveling alone. At the bars, horny men are always roaming around. But there are simple phrases you can learn to keep them at a distance. No pierdas su tiempo, matador. Don't waste your time, killer. Or, no mires vistas con tu mirada desaforada, no soy un pedazo de carne asada. Don't undress me with your drunken gaze. I'm not a piece of meat, more or less. Now, after a few margaritas, you may not wish to keep them at a distance. Soy tu fruta prohibida. I am your forbidden fruit. Lo quiero a él para llevar. I'll take him to go. Or, if you're up for a mariachi adventure, Pedro, ¿quisieras traducirme tus hermosas canciones a mi piel? Peter, would you like to translate your beautiful songs into caresses? Now, a unique pickup line for that adventurous gringo male. Maria, soy doctor, ¿quieres que te examine? Mary, I am a doctor, would you like a checkup? The Mexican women, watch out, are fiery, and if you're not careful, you may get the following response. Pinche pendejo, chinga tu madre. Enough for today. Hasta mañana y vaya con Dios, vatos locos. Ajua. You know, I've been inventing a series of kind of Robo-Esperanto languages, and I would like to share a few with you, kind of interstitial post-colonial languages. Ladies and gentlemen, enchiladas y burritos, bagels and croissants. Let's imagine for a moment Robo-Baroque Esperanto composed of 5 European languages plus Latin, Nahuatl, and Chicano slang. What would it sound like? Aló? Aló, Fortress Europa? Jestem Mexicanki Martenston, asken si quieren joderse. I wonder what would happen when you open your computer, finde eine message in esta lingua poluta e dissoluta. No es tenglando, no es germano, nor hispano, tampoco franzo, nor even spanglish ese. No es keine non lingua ave du understand. Coño? Merde? What happened so? Have your computer eine virus catched? Have du Sudan BFG developed, okay? No, du essendo la new Europes lingua de Europanto. Uno cibermilangio más avec la chicanoización del mundo. In the Americans, things are even more complicated regarding la identity. Y es que la mera neta, we just don't know exactly where the new border is located. Tijuana, Bagdad, plus un moi. Texas, Kabul, aquí o allá. Yahoo, Earthlink, ceci, cela. Que esto, que aquello, y sí, la va, que tú, que yo, I mean, not really wanting to decide yet, cause for the moment, machín, oyohdui, tlacanacatl, el mío, el corpo pecaminoso hurts un chingo. Especially my feet, ichitl. Pero también otras partes del cuerpo, ¿Capiscas, güey? Telepantlia, tinemi, y es que la pizca existencial está acá. So drop your cohete, effiche-moi la paix. Y hagamos la paz con la lengua, babe. Dans la voiture sacrée. En la mera ranfla, my Toyota flamígero, Toyotul. La salle du sexe transculturel, my lowrider sanctuary Tlatuani, I say, yo n'ai rien à déclarer, el arte nunca será suficiente. Translation, art is just a pretext for delete. Thank you. You know, this funny shaman is addressing a group of Indian wannabe Germans. The place is a powwow 22 miles east of Hamburg. My girlfriend Tyler Medicine Horse and I are weekend guests, so we decided to write this 49er. This is the way my voice sounds when I'm losing my mind. Testing. Per ipsum ecun ipsum et in ipsum. Et ibi video patriomni impotenti. Per omnia secula seculeros. Mame Koyoma Hakayama Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Vato, Hare Grandma, Hare Nara. Hakayama, Hakayama, Christian girls, yeah. Christian girls, Christian girls, Christian girls, Christian girls. Oh how I love, oh how I love, oh how I love those Christian girls. Oh, how I love those New Age girls. Skinhead girls, skinhead girls, skinhead girls, skinhead girls. Oh how I love, oh how I love, oh how I love those skinhead girls. Muslim boys, Muslim boys, Muslim boys, these Muslim berries. Oh, how I love, oh, how I love, oh, how I love those Muslim boys. Hakayumo, Hakayama Teshkatlipunk. Hakayumo, Hakayama Funkawato. Hakayumo, Hakayama Krishna Wato. Hakayumo, Hakayama Chichikolgatin. Hakayama chili con carne. Hakayama Paco del Chihuahua. Hakayama Santa Frida. Hakayama Santa Celina. Hakayama Santa Pocahontas. Hakayama Santa Shakira. Shakira. Nafta, Viagra, melatonin. Nafta, Viagra, melatonin. Melatonin! Now everybody, take your pill. Ginseng, ginkgo, guacamole. Ginseng, ginkgo, guacamole. 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 Now everybody take a dip. Well, I would like to finish with a question which obsesses performance artists, and that is, which is the difference between mimicking, parodying, impersonating, representing, and becoming. 2 months before Election Day, the third-party Chicano candidate addresses the Brown House. Dear Chicanos and honorary Chicanos, the historical mission of the U.S. is to put the world at risk and then to save it from the very risks they created. For example, to rule other countries and then to attack them for being armed. To provide weapons and drugs to the youth of color and then to imprison them for using them. To endanger species and then to raise consciousness and create programs to save them. To evict the poor and then punish them for living on the streets. To turn women and people of color into freaks and then laugh at us for acting out accordingly. The historical mission of the U.S. is very, very peculiar. It's okay. So if I were a politician, would you vote for me? You know? Despite my outlaw looks, my obvious vices, my lack of theatrical training, if this was, say, a presidential campaign and not a keynote speech, what would I say? What should I say? Imaginary political speech number 5.
We're faced with a very serious dilemma. We have now entered the post-democratic phase of the dance capitalism, and there is simply no return.
Hey, parezco Malcolm X.
We politicians have total disregard for human pain, for the homeless, the migrants from the south, our under-17s, the artists, the infirm, the crazy ones like you. We are getting used to living without pain, without sharing. For the moment, all we share is the moment.
No, that's a bad Taoist phrase. I'll try imaginary political speech number 12. The elephants of the nation state. We now live in a fully globalized world composed of virtual nations, transnational pop cultures and hybrid races, and all we share is fear and vertigo. What the fuck? Fear of the future of war, love, and loneliness. And vertigo. The feeling of standing on the edge of a new millennium. Yes, pure horror vacui, Y2K, y qué apocalipsis mañana. That's a haiku. That's a haiku. We feel it in our crotch, and it goes up our spine and into our throat and out of our nostrils and eyes, and it's unbearable. I'm overdoing it, I'm sorry. I just don't know no other way to make my point. Wait. There may be another way. A joint. Should I? Dear generic American citizenry, if you vote for me, I can assure you that as the first Mexican president of the U.S., I will fulfill your fears and desires like no other politician ever did. And all your stereotypes will come through, carnales. I will open all borders, legalize drugs, create new university campuses, make daily sex mandatory, make Spanglish the official language, appropriate all TV stations and hand them over to poets, abolish the police force and the National Guard, ban all weapons from handguns to missiles, deport Bush back to Texas, and escort Ashcroft back to his Episcopalian inferno. Feels great to imagine, que no? Creo que aquí le paro. Thank you. No, ya no puedo. Thank you.